right. Cool. So, welcome back. It's Monday, February the 24th, and we're going to be playing some Modern to start off with this evening. I hope everybody had a great weekend. I was head judging on Sunday at face-to-face games, checking out some sweet Modern action. Saw Omar Beldon of Toronto, Ontario, fantastic player piloting this sweet deck. He was playing, I'm sure, some tweaked out and upgraded version of what this is. This is from a couple weeks back, but this is Mardu Stoneblade in Modern. So the namesake of this deck is, of course, Stoneforge Mystic, recently-ish released into the modern card pool, something like 3-4 months ago when Faithless Looting was banned. So Stoneforge Mystic is 1 and a white for 1/2. When it enters the battlefield, you search your library for an equipment card, any equipment card, reveal it and put it in your hand. Then it has 1 and a white tap. You can put an equipment card from your hand onto the battlefield. So this deck plays 2 main decked pieces of equipment to tutor up with that. The infamous and powerful Batterskull, which is basically a 4/4 vigilance lifelink that can reset itself, rebuy itself over and over and over again over the course of a game. And we're also playing 1 copy of Sword of Feast and Famine. It's 3-mana equipment, equips for 2, and gives the creature +2/+2 protection from black and green, which is most of the removal in Modern. But additionally, whenever the equipped creature deals damage to a player, that player discards a card and you untap all the lands you control. So it's a quality attrition element in a powerful attrition-based deck. So we are playing 7 discard spells on 1 black. That's 4 Thoughtseize and 3 Inquisition of Kozilek. We're also playing a healthy amount of interaction in Lightning Bolt and Fatal Push. These are still reasonable spells to be playing in the Modern format. We're also playing 3 copies of Kroxa, Titan of Death's Hunger. So Kroxa is black and red. When it enters the battlefield, they're going to discard a card. If they don't discard a non-land card, or they don't discard anything because their hand is empty, they take 3, and you can escape him for black, black, red, red. So Uro is the more infamous of these 2 Titans, but Kroxa is definitely making his name and presence felt in multiple formats. Hopefully he's going to be able to shine here for us. And then we're playing Mardu Pyromancer, Staples, Lingering Souls, and we're playing things like Seasoned Pyromancer and Kolaghan's Command. So overall, our goal here is to get both players on fairly low amounts of resources, and then be able to win out from there with powerful mid-range threats. We also get the treat of playing main-decked Ashiok Dreamrender, which can be a complete game-ender against a lot of decks in the Modern format. Then on the sideboard, we get to go into a Blood Moon plan against the decks that are relevant, and we get lots of other wonderful tools from the Mardu colors. So we're going to hop into a Modern League, see how she goes. Roy, would you like to join? Would you like to join in live? My friend Roy the Boy Posserathanathan is in the chat, but he might be joining us on audio. Although I don't actually know how to set up screen sharing with Discord, so we'll see how that goes. Okie dokie. Am I view deck? Am I on the right deck? I am, in fact, on the right deck. Cool. Down to Skype. All right, let me grab my headphones. Do. What's up, bud?
Not much. I'm just watching the stream.
Yep. No, so on Friday I was recording like I don't know, I'll call it like a demo for the Wizard's Tower, so I kind of wanted it to be mostly me just in case, like, I don't want them to think that what my stream is me plus one other person.
Yeah.
Like, my stream is me plus...
It was going to be a regular thing.
Well, it might be, but it's not yet.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not. They haven't, like, picked me up right away or anything crazy like that.
Got it.
Yeah, the person who... Turns out I actually knew through judging. The guy who contacted me knew me from a judge group, and so he knew Alex Frank, and so, you know, connections making stuff happen, apparently.
So the Judge Frat is a powerful organization.
Yeah, obviously. Skull and Bones, baby!
Skull and Bones. Have you seen Mitchell and Webb?
No, I haven't. Never heard of it.
Oh, okay.
Winning the die roll, that seems unbalanced. Okay, this seems like a medium hand, but like we do have Seasoned Pyromancer to curve into, so I think I'm going to keep it.
I feel like we're going to be saying that a lot this week.
Yeah, this is definitely like the mid-range deck in the classic sense of... And I was thinking about it earlier today, and one of the things I like about playing mid-range decks is the fact that victory is not a path, it's a journey. And like, oh, buddy. So I'm going to take the Ringleader because I don't have a second discard spell right now. And that Legion Loyalist is obviously going to be able to do some amount of damage to me, but I'm not concerned about it. Whereas like the Ringleader, pulling them back into this game in terms of card advantage when we get to the sort of mid-game will be something I don't feel like dealing with.
That Loyalist is definitely lining up annoyingly with our hand.
Sort of, but I've got a 2/2, and like my deck has a lot of removal in it that we're gonna like theoretically draw into. So there's like at least 9 decent pieces of removal. The most important thing from here on out is going to be preserving our life total. That Kroxa is kind of probably one of the better draws we could actually hit right there, which is sick.
Yeah.
So we're actually going to get to go turn 3 Pyromancer. Possibly discard 2 spells at that point, and then be able to... That was a good draw for them. And then possibly be able to escape Kroxa the turn after. We will have the mana. Okay. Because I drew that, I'm going to play Marsh Flats, fetch my plains, play Pyromancer. I'm going to discard Lingering Souls and Sunbaked Canyon because I don't like taking a bunch of damage from Sunbaked Canyon. And there's a Dreadbore, so should be okay from here on out. And they're going to have to Lightning Bolt down my Pyromancer here. Otherwise, it's just going to block their Legion Loyalists. So,
do you need that many more than 3 lands?
I need 4 to escape Kroxa.
Sure.
Yeah. Also, I suppose getting that Plains was bad because now I need 5 to escape Kroxa. Also, That's a really good draw.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. I hadn't played this deck yet, so obviously making some goofs. Wasn't thinking about how carefully I would need to set up my mana. Yep.
Well, you have a Seasoned Pyromancer activation soonish.
Yep. That's the other reason you want 5 lands, right? So this is going to get me a swamp. Then I go Dreadbore, the Legion Loyalist, and Flashback Lingering Souls. And I know their hand is a Bolt, so we're okay for now then. And I definitely want more swamps than mountains, generally speaking. So, Dreadboring a Legion Loyalist is like not the sickest play in the world, but you know, sometimes you don't like losing when you have the option to not lose. So
yes,
I'm gonna go ahead and choose the not lose option.
Fair.
Goblin Guide is a pretty good draw. We're about to go down to a virtual 1 here, which is fun.
They have a Bolt in hand, right?
Yes, that's why I'm virtual 1.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember what they have left in hand.
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna go just trade with everything, let the guide hit me.
What did they do with the second bolt?
It's in their hand.
Oh, so they cast one already. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I know what the card in their hand is, and it's a bolt.
Yep.
That's why I'm going to a virtual one.
Yep.
They're gonna bolt me now? Yeah, that seems. So I could play the Stoneforge Mystic, but then I just have to chump block, or they're able to bolt it. So I think.
Well, you can get the bolt out of their hand with Kroxa.
Yeah, I could force it out of their hand with Kroxa, but I think
Yeah.
the better play here is just play Seasoned Pyromancer and discard both Kroxa and Stoneforge Mystic.
Don't you care about Stoneforge grabbing Batterskull?
I'm at a virtual 1. Like, I don't. If the next land I draw is a Blackcleave Cliffs or a fetch land, I die. If I play Seasoned Pyromancer and put 2 tokens into play, it buys me a lot of time.
There.
Yeah, like I'm like 100% sure that this is the correct line here. Okay. So this is a useless land drop to me. I drew a redundant Stoneforge Mystic, which is kind of nice. I'm just going to sit for now. And we just have to fade a couple of draw steps here. Foundry Street, that's not good enough. So now I have the Oh Look a Distraction for their Lightning Bolt.
Ooh, look, a piece of candy.
Yeah. Oh crap, I better Lightning Bolt that Stoneforge Mystic. The downside here is if they don't bolt it. Well, no, they have to bolt it. They're 100% priced into bolting that.
Batterskull's a big problem to them.
Yeah. But the funny thing is, once they bolt it, then I'm allowed to fetch and then actually just hard cast it. They could top deck another bolt and just kill me, but is that?
I don't know if fetch is a good idea.
I think I just died.
I think you are just dead.
Is it give the ability to literally everything? It does, right? So I'm gonna take one and then die. Yeah, it's fine. Yep. Well, they drew out of it, so maybe they'll screw up. What would Roy do? So I have to block there, and I have to block there. Yeah, and then I take exactly 1, and then I die. Pretty sure they still have that bolt in hand. Maybe they're worried about fetch Lightning Helix or something silly like that, but yeah, no, we died. I'll just let it resolve. All right, go on a game 2.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so probably want all my Thoughtseizes out, if I had to guess. Kaya's Guile seems great. Kambal seems pretty good. And then if I had one more board in... Oh, Plague Engineer seems good against the all-goblin deck.
Plague Engineer is nuts.
Yeah. And then if I was going to board out any one thing, it'd probably be one Ashiok. It's probably the least good thing that's left in this deck.
Dirty. What's behind the Spellbombs? Is it that?
Oh, Wear Tear. It's Wear Tear.
Wear Tear.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So I think this is fine. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. Had a slightly unfortunate draw against the crazy nutty aggro deck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello there, Claudacious.
The...
If I don't know who Claudacious be, what up? Hope you are having a great night. Roy, there's people in chat. 6 whole viewers. This is like the best ever.
6 people? Holy
6 whole people.
That's like 5 more than just me.
Yeah, I know. I'm keeping this somewhat medium hand, but we're going to lead on Castle Locthwain. Maybe I should have led on the fetch for Blood Crypt. Yeah. I'm just being a little sloppy. Cavern of Souls. Wow. That's you go, Goblin deck. Oh, well, maybe we can get a sick top deck land here. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I wanted. Wow. Thank you, deck. It's just what I wanted. And oh, that's all right. I think I
That's a
fetch a
fun.
Plains and just play this Stoneforge Mystic.
I would not fetch a Plains
Why?
because of Kroxa.
I don't need Kroxa quickly.
So you're willing to wait until 5 lands to escape him?
Yes.
If
100%.
you're okay with that.
I'm 100% okay with that. It's rather than shocking here, because like, okay, so this turn was either like fetch tap land. And no, there was no. I could either play Blackcleave Cliffs or this Arid Mesa, and the only interaction in my hand is Lightning Bolt. I literally can't play anything other than Stoneforge or Lightning Bolt this turn. I guess I could have played Kroxa, but like that's not. They're on 6 cards in hand. That's like 0 value. Yeah, I'm getting the Plains. Because this forces them to interact with me instead of just killing me as fast as possible.
I'm just concerned about stumbling.
I'm not concerned about stumbling at all. Like, do you see how much stuff we have to do? Literally next turn I could just cast Lingering Souls. And as long as I hold pieces of removal for Legion Loyalist, I think we should be okay. Uncounterable Goblin. What do you got? Pile Driver. That's fine.
K command.
Dude, we can put in Batterskull here.
No, I know. We can just hold up K command and
K command / Batterskull. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or Lightning Bolt / Batterskull. Like, we have all the options.
Yeah.
Yeah. 3, 4. The only problem is I have 8 cards in hand right now. So
I guess you could.
I think I'm just gonna fire off a bolt proactively.
I guess.
It's kind of awkward.
This Plains is really awkward.
It's fine. Plains is fine. Do I go end step and just discard my Lingering Souls?
That works.
Yeah. It's not bad, right? Like, so the concern here is like if they play Legion Loyalist, I need to be able to kill it so that I can then put in my Batterskull. And the thing is, there's a very, very good chance that they have some kind of artifact destruction. So if they tap down pre-combat, like I know I can just bring in my Batterskull for combat. So there's the Loyalist. So I can let them go to combat, but this is a trigger that gives an ability.
But then you won't be able to block their token.
No, I know. That's why I have to kill it before they attack.
Yeah.
But if they tap down entirely intending to go to combat here with a bunch of stuff that I can't block, perfect. So they're going to go to combat. I'm going to bolt the Legion Loyalist and then put in my Batterskull. I mean, I don't even have to put in the Batterskull, but Batterskull is coming down this turn. Please attack me. Please attack me with whatever you want. No? Cool. Here's my Batterskull. Shot. Triggers. This is looking real good. I agree with you, Claudacious. I like the cut of your jib. That's a Plague Engineer.
Sweet.
All right. I think I'm just going to attack with the Germ without playing the Plague Engineer because I don't need to.
Yeah, you can see what they do.
They could triple block it, and I'll kill. I could K command the Goblin Guide and then just eat them alive. So
yeah,
so we just do this, and then post combat we play Plague Engineer. And now they have to deal with Plague Engineer before they can really do anything else. So, dear Wizards, I really enjoyed your set Modern Horizons. However, I really don't. Yeah, I guess we could have just held up the K command, but like I'm okay with this board. I guess if they had another Legion Loyalist, we could have gotten beaten up here, but I think we're okay. Also, hello, Brian.
Another Legion Loyalist dies.
Yeah. Okay, so getting Crypt. Oh, there we go. But I had a train of thought. Now it's gone. Train has left the station. All right. Now that I have this Fatal Push, I think I just jam the Seasoned Pyromancer. Because I can kill a Legion Loyalist if they have one. So hopefully this gets us
Legion Loyalist is a 1/1. It just automatically dies.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking with portals. All right. Well, I guess we wanted infinite interaction. All right. So now the hard game. Game 3 on the draw.
Do we want Thoughtseize on the draw?
I think instead of Ashiok, it's like it can be slightly better. Just the one. But like,
I thought you took Ashiok out.
I took one of the Ashioks out, but there wasn't anything else to take out. Like, so the first things I took out were the Thoughtseizes, because they literally lose me life. Ashiok does fuel our graveyard for things. It's not particularly good against them, so definitely should have cut it for game 2. I didn't. I made that mistake, but I'm now correcting it. The thing is, most of the rest of the deck is okay in this matchup, and there's nothing else to bring in my sideboard. From my sideboard. Like, I guess I could bring back Thoughtseizes, but I can't imagine anything in this main deck is worse than a Thoughtseize right now. Yeah, we just kind of generally got beat up in game 1. They just had a Legion Loyalist, and we didn't have any way to kill it, and we had a bunch of tokens to block with. So we would have been okay, but they kind of barely squeezed it out. So...
Do you know who Claudacious is?
Claudacious. I don't know who Claudacious is. It's probably some new exciting human being.
I'm gonna ask.
Well, I mean, we've been speculating about it, and they can hear us talk. So I would assume that they're going to respond. Do I keep this hand on the draw? It's got mana. It's got Inquisition. It's got Stoneforge, but the Stoneforge is probably gonna die. But their last hand, they literally couldn't remove the Stoneforge, and I have an Inquisition to mess up their draw, so I'm going to keep this one. It's got a few things going on. Foundry Street Denizen, sure. So we're going to fetch a basic swamp here. We're national now. Would you say we're intranational, Roy?
We are indeed.
Wow!
We're interprovincial.
Yo, check out that Inquisition.
Wow, that's a good Inquisition.
I mean,
I'm totally comfortable seeing that.
I'm pretty okay with that missing, I guess. They top-decked Goblin Bushwhacker. Well, that's a kick in the teeth. On the plus side, we do get to just slam Stoneforge Mystic, and if they don't literally top-deck a piece of interaction, we get to do that again. So
yep.
Let's go win the game, question mark. Also, if they don't draw a way to trigger their Foundry Street, we can just block it with the Stoneforge safely. Same with the Bushwhacker. Batterskull. All right, let's go win a game. Come on, baby, hold together. So they play Mutavault. They didn't even attack. Okay, so they didn't. Okay. They didn't even try to bluff, like, I don't know, like Gut Shot. So I'm just going to play tapped Blood Crypt here. No need to get fancy. Intranational podcast. No, sorry. Stream. Intranational pod. Or stream. God damn it. My words. My brain.
Interprovincial stream.
They did reveal a lightning bolt there, but they can't cast it. And they put Goblin Chieftain in their hand. Cool. So they don't have the Ringleader anymore. All right.
What does Lightning Bolt have anything to do with Ringleader?
It revealed it.
Whiff.
No, I know, but now there's a Lightning Bolt on the bottom of their deck.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. It's just like slightly valuable strategic information. Okay, so
no, it's very valid.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's very valid. I'm not going to make a lot of, like, they haven't played a single Lightning Bolt yet. There's still 3 that are, like, fairly easily reachable, so I'm not going to make a bunch of decisions being like, well, now there's only, like, a 17% chance of them having a Lightning Bolt instead of a 37% chance of them having a Lightning Bolt.
That's pretty big.
If you say so. I think I'm discarding Stoneforge in the land here. Make a token. I still have Fatal Push. We're going to charge in with this Germ token. And as soon as it connects for combat damage, this game's basically over. Their deck is...
Is there souls in your yard?
Lingering Souls? No.
Okay.
There's a Stoneforge.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so that's the Chieftain. That's like reasonable, but it's not good enough. That again is like reasonable, but it's not going to be good enough because I have the Fatal Push to kill it. So before they attack, kill the Loyalist. And this means they basically have no good attacks. Sure. I'll block it with my Seasoned Pyromancer. It's a 4/2.
4/2, okay.
Yeah, I'll block it with Seasoned Pyromancer and just... Pyromancer goes in the bin. I don't have access to 5 mana next turn, but soon enough. Not really worried about it.
Oh, okay.
Well, I can't play and equip it.
Play it and equip.
Oh, I could play, yeah. But I don't... I guess it incentivizes them to block it. But what I'd rather do this turn is Dreadbore their Goblin Chieftain. And then... Oh, well, I guess I don't have a sword to fetch out anymore.
Well, you can violin the sword.
Yeah, I know I can.
Dreadbore.
Yeah, that's true. But I don't need to violin the sword now. I can leave the Stoneforge as a blocker. Okay, so... So we're at 20.
This is good.
Yeah, it's all right. I guess it's fine. Another Goblin Ringleader, sure. What do you got? 4 cards revealed. They did in fact reveal Goblin Grenade, but luckily it is not a tribal sorcery goblin, so...
Yeah.
So they did pick up Goblin Guide and Mog War Marshal. The question is, do I put the sword on the Batterskull? Probably just put it on the Batterskull, because then I gain 6 life when it connects, right?
Yeah, what else is left in your deck, by the way? In
what, equipment? Literally nothing.
Yeah. Okay.
2 equipment is all you play. It's really... I might... I tapped in such a way that I don't really... I don't want to go like shock in to play a Stoneforge here. So... I'm just going to leave the Stoneforge in my hand, but... being at 26 seems like probably going to be okay.
It costs 3 to bounce it, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
They drew another Ringleader. Oh, they got Pashalik Mons. They're definitely putting a lot of creatures into play. Yeah. Kind of need to find some action reasonably soon.
Or just Lingering Souls.
Yep. I would say Lingering Souls qualifies as action. Oh, that'll do.
That also works. Holy
so,
smokes.
Name Goblin. Is this a concession Plague Engineer? Okay. They get a 1/1. Then the 1/1 immediately dies. I'm gonna attack with this Stoneforge. I know technically I could hold on to it to have it reset Batterskulls, but I have a second one in my hand anyway. So, and then I'm gonna play out this one as a chump blocker.
You might want to. Okay.
What was the?
You might want to bounce the Batterskull if you play something like Smash. So I just didn't want to play Stoneforge.
Yeah, I guess so. Probably being slightly too cocky because we haven't seen any artifact destruction from them. If they're playing anything, it should be Goblin Trashmaster. Although again, I figure we would have seen one by now, probably. But hey, look, it's that card you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna throw Sword of Feast and Famine on my Plague Engineer. Because at this point, if I attack with it, they have to block with Oh, they only have to block with 2 goblins to kill it. Alright, well. Alright, I'm not attacking with Plague Engineer. I'm just protecting it. I'm being smart, quote unquote. Yeah. Did you see my sick plays? Oh my god, so sick. Alright, and then we make some tokens. No, there's definitely some slops happening here. It's
Yep.
I haven't had to play and interact with this many creatures in a long time, alright?
Fair.
Is it fair? I don't think it is, Roy. I think that is a ridiculous
this is
thing
definitely
to say.
a fair deck.
Oh, I know. I'm just, yeah. All right, so if I try to equip my sword to one of my spirits, they can pay 4, sack a goblin, ping the spirit, and make 2 goblins, but then I just equip it to the other spirit, so I think... Okay, they didn't do anything about it. So this is 5 to equip, so I think we're just attacking with the Batterskull and
onto the spirit.
I don't have oh, if I do I just win, right?
I guess there's no need for that. There's really no need for that.
Yeah. But here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna play Castle Locthwain and attack with the germ and the spirit, as well as this other spirit and the elemental. So they're kind of, if they don't do anything, they're very dead. But if this spirit connects with the trigger on the stack, I'm going to draw a card with Castle Locthwain, and then I can do that again afterwards. Okay, so they do activate Pashalik Mons, so they're going to ping down something. Yeah. What did they hit? They hit my Plague Engineer. Okay, that's fair. Oh, yeah, and then some number of goblins is going to die during combat. That makes sense. Oh, the tokens that were created immediately died and gave them triggers. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, so I screwed up my attack, but that's fine. That's also fine. So, combat damage, we get a sword trigger. Yeah, I kill both the ringleaders. And then I could just float the mana and reset the Batterskull right now. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So we go 1.
If they have a kill spell in hand and they hit the Stoneforge that you're battling. Well, I guess you have 2 Stoneforges.
I have 2 Stoneforges. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I know the play you're talking about, but it doesn't matter here.
Yeah.
Yeah. They didn't have it anyway. Equip Batterskull to token. No, I did think about it, but it... So, and then they're going to have to discard a card here. So, we good. We good. Pashalik Mons is doing work, though.
Yep.
Yeah. And at the end of the turn, I can activate Seasoned Pyromancer and make some tokens. Which is not great, but it's something. Goblin Grenade. Killing my spirit token. Sure. You gotta do what you gotta do, I guess. And then they ping my Stoneforge? Sure. What else they got? They activate Mutavault.
They're gonna sack it?
I guess? Oh, yeah. Yeah. And they get to ping the Stoneforge again? Yeah, I mean, I guess that's pretty slick.
Is it?
I mean, reasonably so. I mean, it was kind of neat. It's like Karn with a microsynth lattice. It's like fair and interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so equip sword to one of the elementals, swing with everything. They're gonna take 1 and chump block. So we don't have this game over yet, but soon. And then I get to flashback Lingering Souls. So. Yep. Oh, they don't even take the 1. That's fair. They get to ping some stuff, so they're going to take down my elemental token, sure. Of course, I am at 43, you know, worth noting.
Thought you were just going to play the spirits.
Well, so Seasoned Pyromancer just straight up draws me 2 cards.
Well, I guess you can do both.
Yeah, and I can do both. So I'd like to draw the 2 cards first. Cool.
Okay, that works.
Yeah.
You can just kill them.
Oh, yeah. Let me put the tokens into play first. Other things I haven't done in a while. Play decks with burn spells.
I would suggest shocking.
I thank you. Yes. Definitely. I'll take that under consideration. All right. So tough game 1, but we pulled it out with a bunch of misplays. As one does. I think it was almost worth bringing in Blood Moon there. Did you see the end of the game where they had like 3 Raven Up runes and a Mutavault?
I don't think Blood Moon would have been a good idea.
I mean, obviously not the way that game went, but...
I don't see how we ever think about wanting Blood Moon.
Okay, so on the play, I don't think I can keep this hand. It's really close because it's got like so much 1-mana interaction, but
Yeah, 3 draw steps. Or 2 draw steps.
yeah. It's a 23 land deck, but we don't have anything like Faithless Looting. And the thing is, we kind of need to get to 3 lands. I'm pretty on the fence.
True.
Like, I think I'm gonna ship it. I think it's just a very good chance that we just like draw nothing and they just outrace us with like playing to the board and we die. That's much better. So I'm gonna bottom a land here. It's gonna be Arid Mesa, I think.
I would bottom Godless Shrine.
Yeah. What? No, I want to play tapped Godless Shrine on turn 1. Tapped Godless Shrine, Blackcleave Cliffs. That gives us mana to do everything.
I guess, yeah, Arid Mesa is the shittier of the fetch lands.
Yeah. Well, we already have a white source, right? So it's like
Yeah.
the number one that we don't particularly need. Delta? Sure. Most likely culprit is Urza on the other side. So I'm going to fire off Kroxa here.
Don't snare me.
Yeah. I mean, that's completely fine,
It's
though.
effectively discarding the card.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh no, Spell Snare. Might be, yeah, I was going to say Thought Scour. Yeah.
Yo.
Yo. All right, there's some
Yeah,
kind of
hold on.
snow green mid-range deck. Snow green mid-range with blue. So this might be Teamer Snow Moon, something like that. Which means I want to start fetching basics ASAP. But it also means this Ashiok's probably going to have a lot of text, so that's good. And by basics, I mean basic swamp and plains. There's a good chance the only counter magic they're going to have on this turn is something like Remand. They can't cast Deprive with this mana, so I think Lingering Souls is reasonable against them. They don't really have a lot of good ways to kill the 2-for-1 there. I guess I could have just tried to jam the Ashiok, but I was concerned about, yeah, something. Yeah. Probably a mistake. Probably should have just jammed the Ashiok, but... although that feels good. The fact that they're digging again, yeah. Was it Astrolabe? Yeah, if they're tapped down here and they get Ashioked, I think they are in some trubs. They could have Force of Negation, so I guess I also give them more time to draw into that. Proactively fetching a tapped Mystic Sanctuary? What are you doing? What are you doing, opponent? What are you doing? Alright. So, gonna attack. We'll crack it in here with my little Spirit Loods. Boosh. And then let's get this Ashiok down if we can. Oh, baby. Baboosh. So, probably playing Uro. They're playing like 4 or Sultai Snow Control. Interesting. Interesting. I'm going to ding my Ashiok, sure. This is acceptable. Play my Marsh Flats. Let's flash back my souls. It's pre or post combat, and does it really matter? Non-striped zebra. Oh, is it cryptic? Yeah, so what are they doing? Bouncing my Ashiok. Well, that's just rude. Sure. Yeah, well, that's a little frustrating.
Okay, I'm upstairs.
No worries.
Yeah. My roommates are characters.
You have mentioned.
Yep.
Okay, so I want a second red, but I also... Wait, I don't need to be Blood Moon proof against this deck. So I've got red, red, black, black, as long as I get a red source. And I have a white in play right now, so I'm going to go do that and play my Stoneforge Mystic. Trigger. Skadoosh. In this game, I'm going to go get Sword of Feast and Famine because I'm playing against a black, green, and blue deck, it looks like. So Sword of Feast and Famine is going to insulate my whatever creature I equip it to against most of their removal. Main phase Hase. Yeah. We do have a Dreadbore, so we're in an okay shape here. I also have a Lightning Bolt, which will kill it just as well.
I'm glad Jace doesn't untap 2 lands.
Well, come on. A Planeswalker that drew you a card and untapped 2 lands would have to cost at least 5. And probably should be 2 colors for fairness. All right, so they've got 1 mana open. There's a good chance they have Force of Negation in hand, so I think I'm just going to fire off Lightning Bolt on the Jace and see what happens. Okay.
Oh, okay, sweet.
Yeah. And then I think... So, if they're playing Fatal Push, they can push my creature if I play an equip Sword of Feast and Famine. So I think I just want to get this Ashiok back on the battlefield.
Sure.
Yeah. It's good against the kind of deck that they're playing. They have fetch lands, they have Mystic Sanctuary, they have Burrows, most likely. We haven't seen one yet, but...
They didn't fetch in response.
They did not. They did not. Let us see if they fetch end of turn. Yes, they did.
Yes, they did.
Feels bad, man. Feels bad. All right, what do you got? Tarmogoyf, sure. My Dreadbore has some questions. Sure. So, depending on whether or not we draw a land, we might be playing pre-combat Sword of Feast and Famine, and then trying to equip it to a spirit. We shall see. So, initially I was concerned that they were like the Teamer Snow Moon deck. Good, good. Which would mean that I was like, that's why I have this basic Swamp in play right now, is I was concerned about fetching around a Blood Moon. But I don't need to be anymore, so. Okay, equip my spirit. It's going to gain protection from green. They do, in fact, have the Fatal Push, which is fine. Yep. Sure. And
Sweet.
then I'm going to shock this Blood Crypt. Equipped Sword. So this gives my creature protection from green, which means it's going to swing through their Icefang Quaddle.
And you get to escape Kroxa.
Yeah, and then I get to escape Kroxa and Dreadbore their Tarmogoyf if I choose. No, wait. I have to do both. Yeah. But this is gonna be like a crazy swing turn. Like this is disgusting. This deck does very, very mean things. I'm gonna Ashiok them after they've killed their Tarmogoyf. Oh, I could be Ashioking myself to fuel things like Kroxa. Yeah. I'm supposed to be doing that, but obviously I didn't need to yet, but it's definitely something I could be doing. I mean, I could pretend that the reason I wasn't doing it was because I really wanted them. There they go. They scoop. I mean, I was like hitting reasonable resources out of their deck, although we didn't see a single Uro, which is strange. I feel like they definitely should be an Uro deck.
Why did you Dreadbore the Tarmogoyf when you did?
So that I could escape the...
Oh, you didn't have enough in your yard?
No, I was one short. You were like, we get to escape the Kroxa. I'm like, oh, because we're going to play the Dreadbore, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. I thought you were like being all sharp and next level, and you actually were like, you just thought I had enough. Yeah, that's fair.
Like I literally just thought you had enough.
Yeah. So do I bring in Blood Moon against their deck? It's a 3-color deck, but it's got a heavy number of islands in it because of Mystic Sanctuary. But then again, Blood Moon shuts down Sanctuary, so I think I want to have it here. The question is, what do I take? I think Lightning Bolt is probably the worst card in this matchup. Although, you know, it kills Jace, but...
How's Plague Engineer? Do they have a lot of 1-toughness creatures?
Do they? They have the Snake, but...
That's it? Okay.
I think that's it. I think it's
It
like...
is a very good attacker.
What?
Plague Engineer.
No, it's not. It's a 2/2.
It's got Death Touch.
That doesn't make it a very good attacker.
It's a great thing to put your sword on.
It's okay. I think pretty much any creature in this deck is going to be okay with sword on it against the black-green-blue deck. All of their creatures are black and green. They don't have a single creature that is mono-blue.
That is good.
Yeah.
Bolts do deal with Jason smaller.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know what? I bet it's Kolaghan's Command that's not particularly great here. Kolaghan's Command is definitely like medium minus against them. Like, I guess it kills Astrolabe, so maybe it's worth keeping. It's just good value.
It also causes them to discard a card.
No, I understand that, but it's a very slow 2-for-1 against a Cryptic Command deck. Like,
yeah, they're cryptic. They're not going anywhere quickly.
Yeah. I wonder if I should trim like that.
I just don't understand why you're hell-bent on bringing these Blood Moons in.
I'm not hell-bent on it. I just think it's the best thing to bring in. Like if I'm not bringing in Blood Moon, like I'm not bringing in basically anything from the sideboard. Maybe Nihil Spellbomb.
Maybe you just don't need to board.
You think? You think we just click submit? I mean, that game felt pretty good, but like...
I just don't know if Blood Moon's worth it against a 3-color Astrolabe deck.
Yeah, but they also have Mystic Sanctuary. And that means they probably have 10-ish fetch lands. So it's fine. We'll go with that. If we have to go to a game 3, I'm gonna go for it.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep this. It's got enough lands. It's got Seasoned Pyromancer. Hopefully they have early cards. So what I'm hoping they have is a hand with 1 or 2 Tarmogoyfs and not just Icefang Quaddles. It's gonna be okay. I was gonna say Thoughtseize or Inquisition, but it's just an Astrolabe. Let's play Blackcleave. Pass.
The classic untapped black-red land.
Yep. Okay, so this opening heavily favors our opponent. I think I could have mulled for more hand disruption. I'm still playing 7 pieces.
I think this is fine.
It's fine. It's just not.
They're gonna play a snake probably, and then you could push target.
Yeah, I know, but this is a 2-for-1 in their favor. I'm not saying it's the end of the world. I'm just saying that is a 2-for-1 in their favor. There's the Uro that we never saw in game 1. So, yeah, I think the Nihil Spellbomb should have come in if nothing else. Uro's just such a beating if it starts resolving. Thoughtseize. Sure. So if they don't take my Kolaghan's command, I can shatter their Astrolabe and have them discard a card, and that puts them off of the colors to escape Uro.
Yeah.
Actually, I think that's probably the best play for the next turn, no matter what. Interesting. So they're telegraphing that they basically have a Jason hand. So, but I think I have to make the play that I just suggested anyway. Playing Pyromancer would feel better because it would give us, well, that's an interesting wrinkle. The problem with Thoughtseize with this hand is I can't play anything else if I play it. So I think taking them off of Uro for sure is the best thing to do. Or we could play the Pyromancer and then they're kind of priced out of playing Jace. Because as long as I discard 2 non-land cards, then I get 2 tokens. So they can play Jace. They could bounce the Pyromancer, but then Jace dies. That's probably the best play, actually.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I had to talk myself through why it was good. And I think out of the cards I can discard here, I think it's Push, and it might even be Batterskull. It feels really crappy to discard Batterskull, but I don't have a Stoneforge.
I don't know if you want to deal with discard Push. Push deals with Uro.
I mean, vaguely, but like, what, do I want to discard Thoughtseize? I guess I do.
Do you intend on casting it next turn?
Yes. Assuming that I have the mana to do so.
Don't discard Thoughtseize then. I guess Batterskull and Push sounds... Yeah.
Maybe it's Batterskull Thoughtseize. Push and KCOM just gives me the best sort of spread of answers.
Yeah, that sounds nice.
Let's try it. Let's try it that way.
Ooh,
it's like a slightly unfortunate draw, but like when you're playing a Stoneforge deck, you don't really want to draw your equipment like that. Because now any Stoneforge we draw isn't a 2-for-1. But so yeah, so here's the Uro. So I could play Sunbaked Canyon, sack it, draw a card, and push, which seems reasonable. It's not great. Like obviously Uro's doing its thing. Hopefully I draw a different way to turn on Revolt here. Nope. Yeah, I think it's got to be Canyon, sack the Canyon, push the Uro.
Yeah.
I think that's the line. That's a great draw. So I'm going to fire off this Thoughtseize first, just in case. Protecting the Fatal Push I'm about to play is pretty important. See if they have a Spell Pierce or something similar.
Or like Blossoming Defense.
Veil of Summer is legit.
Yeah, Veil of Summer would actually be really irritating.
So there's the Jace. And then basically nothing else there is particularly threatening at all. The Goyf looks scary until you realize I have a Sword of Feast and Famine in my hand.
Yeah, Goyf is not scary.
I think we just take the Jace.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they're probably gonna play Goyf and Icefang next turn. But that's fine. So we can bolt the Icefang, which again puts us down a card, but that's where we're at.
Or shock and bring something back from your yard. Do we have...
Well, that's true. Shock discard's an okay line.
Or shock discard also, yeah.
Yeah. We cannot shatter them off of their Uro mana anymore, so. But I do like the line we took earlier. Yeah. That's a 6/7. So big boy. All right. Out of the cards that we revealed, they have the Icefang. Why? Oh, there. Sorry, there it is. Icefang. Oh, they have Assassin's Trophy.
They have trophy for the sword.
Yeah, that's really bad for us. Scoif is gonna be a problem. But Uro was also gonna be a problem, so. I think I have to play my Sword of Feast and Famine to give them a target for their trophy. Do I? I guess I don't.
I don't want to lose the sword as well, because we don't have another way of breaking through.
Yeah.
Can we escape? Is there a Kroxa on the yard?
Nope.
Crap.
Yeah, this
Unfortunate.
is not a great situation. I think we got to play the waiting game. I would much rather play Hungry Hippos. Okay. Yeah, we can't attack. I've got to keep these elementals for blocking. If they play the Ice Fang, which they're going to, I can make them...
Are you going to shock it?
Probably. Shock it and have them discard a card. The thing is, they're just going to discard this redundant Uro. And by killing the Ice Fang, I almost let them bring back the next Uro. So that's not great.
Are you just going to let the Ice Fang stay on board?
Well, I mean, it's not really all that threatening right now. It has Death Touch, but none of my creatures are particularly valuable. Yeah. Just getting buried in cards right now.
Yeah.
I think Nihil Spellbomb in the third game.
Yeah, if there's a game 3, I can definitely get behind that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Is like if we weren't
apprehensive about bringing in Blood Moon, but
no, that's fine. Like I understand why you are, but at the same time, like we haven't had to get to the point yet where they just turn around the game with Mystic Sanctuaries.
Yeah,
I don't think it's going to happen this game. I think we're just going to get beat up by Tarmogoyfs, but it is a thing that can happen in this matchup. Okay, I'm just going to fetch end of turn.
could use an Ashiok here.
Yeah. Oh, I needed a white there. Oh well. Don't draw a white spell. Cool. Okay, so I don't want to give them a way to escape their Uro right now. So, oh, and if I block with Pyromancer next turn, I can rebuy it with Kolaghan's command. So that's something.
Yeah. Just rebuy discard.
Yeah, probably at end of turn, so they can't escape Uro, unless they just play something into their yard during the turn, which allows them to do so. So block, block. Donk. Cool. So target player discards a card, return, target creature, target player discards a card. Return that, you discard. 1, 2, 3. Pocket Sand. Discarded Overgrown Tomb.
What's Pocket Sand?
What? You don't know Pocket Sand?
No.
It's a King of the Hill
Is it
joke.
another musical thing?
No, it's King of the Hill.
Oh. Yeah, I definitely haven't watched enough King of the Hill to get it.
Yeah, that's fine. I think I'm just discarding Double Bolt here, right?
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
The friggin' Tarmogoyfs are 6/7s right now.
Hey, Ashiok.
I mean, kind of. She's going to be too late. The Uro's coming back on their turn. They are going to be too late. So, unless for some reason they don't escape their Uro this turn, which I can't imagine why they wouldn't. Block. Block. The only reason they don't escape Uro here is they're holding Cryptic Command, which means our Ashiok's not going to resolve. So,
Oh, this is Uro.
yeah, which is we are super done. We're not playing anything like Damnation. So, I mean, they did shrink the hell out of their Goyfs doing that, but it's not going to matter. Okay, so yeah. Let's see if we can find any more information about their deck. There's the Cryptic. So they actually had the chance to do the thing I was talking about there. They didn't do it. And Dead of Winter is in off their sideboard. Good to know. Okay, so let's jam this Ashiok. They've got the trophy, but
I wonder if Dead of Winter is actually in their sideboard.
I assume so. They could play 1 or 2 main deck, but it is generally not something you need to do in Modern. There's not a lot of decks against which a main board sweeper are particularly necessary.
Dead of Winter is a good one, though.
Dead of Winter is a good one. Good to know. Well, no, it is, but I'm just saying, like, if you think of what Modern is right now, like, you don't... Playing a sweeper in your main deck is not how you win a lot of matches. You could win some, but, like, I just don't think it's... I think it's definitely a sideboard card. Cracked for 17. Goosh. Blah. Alright, so Nihil Spellbomb, he said.
Yep.
Nihil Spellbomb. And then probably Kaya's Guile. These were the 3 cards I was looking at to bring in instead of Blood Moon. I think Bolt felt awful in that game.
Yeah.
I will keep a minimal number of them, and then Kolaghan's Command felt less than great. I think this is fine. I think
Yep.
we
have no problems with this.
need to keep the maximum number of Fatal Push and Dreadbore because Tarmogoyf is such a pain in the ass if it resolves.
Yeah, Tarmogoyf is really annoying.
Yeah. I guess I could bring in Angrath Rampage. The problem is if they have a snake lying around.
Yeah, well, you can always use the Saka
Planeswalker against
Planeswalker
Jace.
mode?
Yeah. I think it's slightly better than Lightning Bolt because if they're proactive and they plus the Jace, then they get got. So that's probably okay. And then I think otherwise we're okay.
Yeah, it looks fine.
Yeah. It's definitely one of those decks where it's like you have a lot of like 45 to 55 and I say 45 to 55. I mean like 48 to 52% matchups. And this is like right in that ballpark of like we're playing a black midrange deck against another black midrange deck.
Yeah.
It's just like a pile of value. But we're overlapping in 0 other colors. This hand is fine.
Yep.
Yeah. So I can fetch a basic swamp and play Inquisition, then turn to Sunbaked into Stoneforge, and then...
Aren't you at all worried about not being able to cast your spells later on in the game?
No. I mean, I guess I could go black-red here because of Pyromancer, but...
Yeah, I think fetching a Blood Crypt is probably a better idea than fetching a basic swamp.
Yeah. Yeah, just being overly conservative with my life total for no particularly good reason. Wow! So... Gonna fetch the Batterskull that's gonna go straight to my graveyard. Well, I guess if you want to be in a crotch-punching contest, this is the game for you.
Yikes.
I mean, they're gonna lose a lot of life. If we draw
Was
anything...
there any merit to taking the trophy?
I don't think so. I think them ramping us is probably better than anything else, right?
Yeah. They're just going to take away the sword anyways, I guess, or the Batterskull.
Yeah. But Stoneforge still functions as a 2-for-1 then.
Yeah, exactly.
It's actually going to gain us a bunch of... Or it's going to hit them for a bunch of damage. Like virtual damage, right? Because... they have to Thoughtseize the Batterskull, and then it'll be able to attack them. So they could, if they double they can't double Thoughtseize. They don't have enough black. That's just going to come in tapped, right? Yeah, okay. So now they take the Batterskull, but now I get to go get the sword, and then they have to trophy me. So that was the advantage of taking their Thoughtseize, is now they're squeezed into a place where they have to trophy me. And I know almost all the cards in their hand. So... Oh, they didn't. Oh, they have. Yeah, they have to. They're going to trophy me with Batterskull. Sure, that's fine. So, is there any argument for just attacking with Stoneforge here, or just sitting with it? I guess I just sit with it because then they have to trophy me at their end step.
Are you going to violate the Batterskull if they pass the turn untapped?
Yes. I guess there's no difference between doing it now and the end of their turn.
Well, I'm just wondering why you're just running the Batterskull into the trophy.
Well, what is my other option?
Not playing the Batterskull and just playing a land and passing.
So I can just attack them? Is that what you're saying?
Sure.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. Like, is there any merit to just attacking them instead of that? Because then they don't get to use their trophy, but they kind of have to keep it up. So do I cycle my Sunbaked Canyon here? I think I do. I think I fetch and then cycle.
You need to get to 4 lands though
Why?
to cast the stuff in your deck comfortably.
Yeah, but I don't need to do it yet. Like, I haven't even found a Kroxa, right? Like, I'm looking for more action. Like, if I draw a 3-drop here, I'm happy. I don't have 4 drops in my deck.
Well, Kroxa.
But it'll start in my hand. Like, there's nothing I can draw here that is like, oh no, I can't cast this. Like, I can cast the front side of Kroxa. Okay, you are not giving me anything to work with.
No, sorry, I just
It's
zoned
fine.
out. I'm just trying
It's
to
fine.
think about what else in the deck you'd really care about. I just don't think cycling when you're on 3 lands is worth it.
Okay, I don't think you understand the way this deck operates then.
Well, I think you want a double spell.
What? I don't have anything to double spell with. Like, I'm already on basically 0 resources.
You don't need to play with just the cards in your hand.
What do you mean?
Like, you can... Like, it's okay to think about what you're gaming for.
No, I understand that, but, like, we're thinking about what's going to happen next turn, right? Like, it's not... There's no scenario where next turn I will be double spelling. I'm not drawing more than 1 card per turn. And the ones in my hand I already couldn't play. So, now that I'm on 5 mana, though, they've drawn so many cards, there's a good chance they have a Cryptic Command. I don't really want to just fire a Batterskull into a Cryptic Command, right? No, they have a Cryptic Command in their hand that I already know
They
about.
have one in their hand, yeah.
Yeah.
I would suggest against casting Batterskull. I would not want to do that.
Yeah. Well, now I can sack the Sunbaked Canyon.
Now,
so.
yeah, I can definitely agree to it now that you have all the lands you want.
Yeah. It's been a strange game. Here's going to be the downside to attacking consistently, is if they Thoughtseize me. Push. Yeah, and that. So I think this was near the turn where I should have stopped attacking. I got way too in the weeds talking about what we were supposed to be doing and not actually thinking about it. Did not help that we basically drew like no action in the meantime. Well, that's an okay draw.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah. Well, they're just gonna Cryptic it, but I guess it gets the Cryptic out of their hand.
Yeah. I'd rather resolve the Batterskull, so
Yeah.
I think running the Stoneforge into it sounds
Yeah,
like...
but we're gonna resolve the Batterskull. It's gonna get trophied afterwards. So the question is, do I put the Batterskull in the way of the Cryptic and then Stoneforge is a 2-for-1? I think that's right.
Yeah, I guess that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Because you'd rather have the sword in your hand
Yeah, exactly.
than
Well,
just a
like
Batterskull.
basically either way they get to Cryptic as a 2-for-1. But this way I end up with a sword at the end of it.
Yeah.
So the downside is, depending on what they've drawn, they can start pulling ahead here. Like if they have an Uro now, we're gonna be in trouble fairly quickly because of the way we've drawn out. Although we could top deck Ashiok or a Nihil Spellbomb finally. Jace? That's really bad. Well, they set it up for a Lightning Bolt. But that's pretty colossally bad. And they have the Assassin's Trophies back up.
Yeah, that's really annoying.
Oh, I finally drew that
Okay.
Kroxa. So I get to play Stoneforge and Kroxa this turn, so that's like okay. The problem with Kroxa though is they can just Jace it after I escape it. So
I don't think you're too worried about them bouncing it. I'd be fine casting it just again and again. I don't really care about it as an attacker.
it's way more efficient that way. So
But if they're bouncing it, they're not brainstorming.
Yeah, I mean I understand. It's like it's not the end of the world. It's just very taxing on my resources, but
Yes.
yeah. Like I don't have an infinite number of times I can cast and escape it.
That's true.
I mean, it is gonna slam their hands, so at least that's doing something. This is gonna help us battle through the brainstorms.
You can escape it like twice.
Right now,
You'll escape-
yes,
yeah.
I have 10, so
That's plenty.
yeah, it's not bad. And there's also the fact that like they have to trophy my Stoneforge, and then or they have to keep holding the trophy for my Sword of Feast and Famine. So there's a bunch of ways this can start going pretty well for us. I wish we had hit a Nihil Spellbomb somewhere. Okay, so I really wish we had hit the Nihil Spellbomb somewhere, but there's only so much we can do.
Yeah.
Stoneforge and Jace separated. Poor super friends.
They had a breakup.
They had a breakup.
Things just didn't go so well after that banning.
That's right. They used to always hang out on the same side of the battlefield. Oh, why is this draw lining up so badly against their draw?
Okay, that's a Godless Shrine. Sorry. Expedition tripped me up. I thought you were tapping out of white.
No. I freaking hate these so much. Okay, so that's Snap Cryptic. So that's like pretty colossally bad for us. Yeah. Why could we not hit a Nihil Spellbomb or an Ashiok way before this? Oh well. Sometimes you end up on the negative side of the variance. It's nothing you can do. I'd like to push this, but that means that I can't put in my sword.
Yeah, I don't think we should tap out to push yet.
Yeah. No, and there's just like a world where they somehow screw up and things go well for us. Although they still have this trophy in hand. It's just been hanging out forever. So I almost don't want to like use the Stoneforge to put in my sword here because it's just gonna die.
Yeah.
But I think I have to get through this trophy eventually, so.
How much discard do you have left in the deck?
Tons.
There are
We've played
4.
like none. Played a single Inquisition. I have 3 Thoughtseize, 3 Inquisitions. It's just been a tough draw. Just Jace resolved, and it's like, okay, I guess we're losing. And now they have Uro. Yeah, it's escaping, so. Although now they can't trophy? Hold on.
This is very strange.
Oh, no. They're going to have a land in hand. They're going to drop the land with Uro. Unless, yeah. There was no way that wasn't going to. So, I'm going to put in the sword. What do they do?
If they trophy, you can get a basic swamp and push the Uro, I guess.
Well, sure, but they got an island.
Okay.
Okay, now they've definitely screwed up. I don't know who they were kidding with that play, but that was a decent sized blowout. I mean, we'll see, but like, I guess they could just have the push for my Stoneforge when I try to equip.
Guess we want a land for next turn?
We do?
So we can escape and equip.
Sure.
Dreadbore is also good.
Yeah. Well, I gotta. Yeah, actually, Dreadbore is quite excellent. So I want to connect on them with the Stoneforge with the sword first. So we equip it. Yeah. They're going to be like, okay. Then we push the snap. Then we Dreadbore the Jace. Oh, what is happening? Oh, okay, it's just gonna be a Veil.
Oh,
Well, I'm gonna re-push the snap. It sucks, but this means we
This
do
means you
get
can't
through with the
Dreadbore chase.
Stoneforge. Yeah, thanks. I think I still have to swing at them, right? No,
Yeah.
I swing at the Jace, because otherwise the Jace bounces the Stoneforge. I have to kill the Jace.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point.
Yeah.
Well, at least-
Really, that was so unfortunate. Oh, Veil.
So close.
Yeah, and now they've got the trophy, so we know why they did things the way they did now. Yeah, just getting got by Veil. It's a tough one, and like this is a pretty unfortunate game. We didn't hit any Nihil Spellbombs. We didn't hit any, Nihil Spellbomb would have helped us get through that. So. And now they're gaining so much life with Uro that it's just going to be tough to fight through it. I'm not saying we can't. Like, there's definitely a world in which their hand is not good enough to beat us here, but it's not. Oh no, they just picked up the Veil. Yeah, with the Uro draw. Yeah, we're screwed. Basically.
How do we know that they picked up a Veil?
Because they Mystic Sanctuaried it on top.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, I don't. Okay, so can attack with Stoneforge, then they trophy the sword and block and eat the Stoneforge. They have a Veil of Summer in their hand, so I can't do anything about anything, and I think we're just dead.
So hold on. Can you? So escape. You can escape Kroxa, connect with them, and you still have Kaya's Guile and Dreadbore.
I'm not connecting with anything. They have Assassin's Trophy in their hand.
Yeah, this is a problem. Oh boy.
Yeah. No, we're just done. Like, I'm gonna cast the Kroxa. Maybe something somehow goes horribly awry for them. We look at how crappy my draw was with the 4 Stoneforges. I literally drew 4 Stoneforges this game.
So what I'm thinking about is looking back on it. Do you think you would have taken the trophy and just ignored their Thoughtseize?
Yeah, possibly. It's definitely possible. All right. So they didn't. I don't know what they're doing.
Are they going to let us connect?
There's no way that that's the right. Yeah. So they trophy the sword. Yeah. And then they block the Stoneforge. So this is the line that I said.
Okay. Now we can cast Kaya's Guile and block their Uro.
Well, I guess. Like, what? Sure. Yeah, I mean,
a great life total. Kroxa hits really hard.
Yeah. Do I make them a sacred creature now and put a 1/1 into play? I think I do, right?
Sure.
Well, I don't. They have Veil of Summer in hand, and it can't affect this
you can't
card.
target.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so, oh, they're gonna. Oh, I'm an idiot. They just sack the Uro and replay it. I should have done this during combat. Okay.
I'm so confused.
They just wanted to draw the card. They draw Fatal. Okay, so we're just dead? Am I just dead? No, I'm not dead. Actually, factually not dead.
Because thankfully they don't have the Veil in their hand.
Yeah, but they're drawing extra cards, so it's like... Again, technically we can still get through, but...
Yeah, we can escape.
Not feeling
and
great about
Dreadbore.
it. Yeah. Oh, no. Well... Again, technically not dead, but the problem is I'm going to 1 and now they have a flyer. So...
Yeah.
So, well...
You have to kill the flyer.
Yeah, I know. That's why I stopped myself, but I was like, eh. So, let's get the Kroxa out. If we can't get the Kroxa out, like, if they have a counterspell in hand, it doesn't matter what we do anyway, so...
Yeah.
Okay.
They have no cards in hand.
Oh. Sure. So they take 3. I have a Kroxa, Dreadbore Flyer, black, red. I guess I'm drawing 2 cards next turn, so that's not too bad. Probably I'm gonna run out of clock. I basically wasn't being clock conscious enough earlier because I thought we were done with this match, which is like obviously a sloppy and shitty way to be playing, but it's my client's being really chonky. Okay, that's GG. That's literally we just die here. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, they just kill Kroxa.
Yeah. Well, that was a tough one. We had a pretty rough draw, and then they had the Veil of Summer where they needed it. Deck feels very good though, but that's definitely a way you can get blown out and die.
I just keep thinking about the discard decision.
Yeah, of course. That was like a huge chunk of the game. I mean, I had reasons that I made the decision I did, and like again, on the flip side, if we did take the trophy and then we got literally everything Thoughtseized out of our hand, and the only thing we had was a 1/2 Stoneforge and 2 pieces of equipment in our graveyard, there's no guarantee that that game went any better.
Well, the thing is...
Okay, mulling the Zero Lander.
Yeah.
Keeping this one.
Zero Landers
watering
the stack.
Lingering Souls. Shock, Blood Crypt. Inquisition. And then because the only... Goodness gracious.
Dear Lord.
Well, we're taking...
Swift Spear?
Yeah. So they're going to play Soul Scar, and then we're going to make them bolt the Stoneforge, and then we're in an okay place. So what I was going to say is I wanted to fetch Sacred Foundry because we need double red for literally this card and white. I still think I'm going to do that. It just feels less good against a much more aggressive deck. But at least, so one of the things I will say, though, is playing against Prowess is not the same as playing against Burn.
If they deal with their attackers.
Yeah. They don't have the same density of cards to top deck and kill you. They need a pretty critical mass. The reason the deck is good is its linear draws are like the nuts. But it's not as good as Burn at just like top decking a thing and killing you. Or rather, like, getting the game into a low resource state and being like, top deck, burn spell. Oh, you didn't die? Okay, top deck, burn spell. You didn't die? Okay, top deck, burn spell.
Yeah, burn is obnoxious.
Yeah. So, if I block this, they bolt me, and I take 3. And then they trade. So, if I don't block it, they bolt the Stoneforge, and I take 2. No. But the math says this way I take 1 less damage. It is literally more efficient for my life total to do things that way. Okay, so that's a fine draw. It's not great, but it's fine. We're just waiting for 1 more land. Yep. I'm gonna. Well, I should have killed it in response to that, the Prowess triggers. What was their hand? It was the Manamorphose. So they're out of cards that I know about. Yeah.
I think so.
Okay, I'm going to fire off this Lightning Bolt, hoping that they don't have a 1-mana spell to play. I should have done this in response to the Prowess trigger. I screwed up.
Yeah.
All right, we got away with it. So it's all good. It's all good. Never punished. No justice stream. No justice, baby.
I didn't know they played Lava Spike.
They do. It's a very good card. Lava Dart and Fiery Islet in exile, so...
Oh, Lava Dart.
Yep. Take 5. Oh, we're at 2 and there's a Lava Dart in exile? Yeah, we're just dead. Well, shoot. Still there? Yeah, okay, we're just dead. So, lost game 1 to Prowess, but that's a thing that happens. I don't know if we have any... Kaya's Guile. Oh, yeah. Crazy good sideboard cards here.
Yeah, Kambal's insane.
I think that's it. I don't think Plague Engineer is worth bringing in.
So, I noticed that they don't have very many creatures on board at one time.
Yeah, so Angrath Rampage is probably okay. Yeah, it's fine. The downside is this is sorcery. But
that's true.
Then Nihil Spellbomb might actually be okay. I wonder if there's 2 more good cuts here.
Ashiok is not amazing.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, these are almost definitely supposed to do that sometimes. Is that you bring in the Spellbomb and you take out the Ashiok.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I think we're good. Yep. Plague Engineer is like interesting. It's one of those things where I'm like, I feel like it could be great, but would I like to play first? Yes, please.
Is this Omar's list from before the team tournament?
I think so.
Okay.
Kind of want to keep this, but I think again it just
have interaction.
Yeah. I have the first 2 turns.
Literally one land.
Yeah, and it can be.
It needs to be able to produce either white or red.
Well, there's no land in the deck that doesn't produce white or red, other than the 1 basic swamp.
Okay.
So
we just need to dodge that, I guess.
Yeah. Assuming that we keep this, we just need to top deck a land that isn't the basic swamp.
That's pretty greedy.
Well, so I'm going to fetch red-black on the first turn. So actually the basic swamp lets us play Angrath Rampage.
That's true.
So we have a 23 land deck.
If we miss even 1 land drop, though,
we're probably going to die. Yeah, I'm a mulligan.
Yeah.
That's much better. It's
yeah,
not great, but it's better. I'm going to send one of the Bloodstained Mires. We're going to go tap land on 1, tap land Nihil Spellbomb on 2. We're not interacting very quickly, but hopefully the sort of power in this hand gets us there, because Lingering Souls and Pyromancer. Pyromancer into Lingering Souls is a very, very good combination. Oh, well, I guess we could just top deck like the best thing that was possible. What do you think, Roy? Do you think we should just top deck good cards?
That is the correct move.
Yeah, and I think I'm taking the Spear.
Yeah.
And then I think I'm gonna no, I'm just gonna play tap Sacred Foundry. Yeah, that's fine. And the next turn, most likely, I'm just gonna fetch a swamp, and then we jam Pyromancer and make 2 tokens.
Yeah, that actually.
Is that scan?
That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
Crash through is annoying.
Yeah.
It gets trample, right?
It does. I mean, it doesn't matter this turn, but it could at some point.
No. But it could line up irritatingly against our tokens.
Yep. I mean, that's what it's for. Well, that was a pretty phenomenal draw.
Blockers for days.
Block us for days, but block us for days.
We're just pitching Soul Spellbomb.
Well, okay. Is there an argument for pitching the second Pyromancer, keep this Spellbomb?
I don't know. Second Pyromancer is like.
Yeah, I know, but then we keep them from getting something like Bedlam Reveler going.
Oh, I didn't know they played Reveler.
Yeah.
Reveler's pretty bad.
Yeah. Like, I think ditching Pyromancer and Souls is good enough here.
Fair. We get 2 tokens, and we get 2 more next turn. And Kambal is a god. Oh my god.
Have you seen his mustache? Look in there in the shadows.
His mustache is like.
It's freaking baller.
So dirty.
All right. So Spear, cool. So, do I know any cards that are left in their hand? Yes, there's definitely a Lightning Bolt. And they cast Burst Lightning on my... Okay, cool.
We knew about Burst Lightning too.
Yes. Okay. So, am I just taking 6 here and having better blocks next turn? I think so. Because I know one of the...
It's better, yeah.
I know one of the 2 cards in their hand, and this sort of helps pin them in on what they can play. I think this turn we're going to play Nihil Spellbomb and Dreadbore. No, we drew second combo.
Nihil Spellbomb and Souls? Oh, no. Yeah, second combo makes things a little easier.
Yeah, because this means they're going to bolt the 1 combo, and then...
And we're going to gain 2.
Yeah. And then I might take up to 6 again. I don't want to take 6
again. So one thing that I didn't think about is in retrospect, if we ever get a chance to block and they don't have that crash through down, we should probably block.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. All right, so we're just going to block this turn then.
Yeah.
So we know no more cards. Yeah. And they're actually attacking with 1 mana open, though, so they definitely should block.
Yeah.
So I'll go block. Block. If I draw a land, I want to go Dreadbore or Lingering Souls.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah. Light up. Gosh darn it. So they were going to have one of their few cards left. A Brade. Okay. So definitely not playing the Kambal this turn. If I can help it. Damn. Okay.
Well, I guess we can...
Dreadbore Spellbomb?
Dreadbore Spellbomb, yeah.
Yeah. The problem is
How
I
much
have
does
to...
it cost to cast a Reveler right now?
3. Which means
Okay,
I should theoretically be popping this Spellbomb aggressively and not drawing the card off of it.
Yeah.
Which is...
But look, that's your call. I'm not familiar enough with the list to make any calls about Reveler.
No, it's fine. So I think I should... It's just... This is the play to win line. This guarantees us like considerably less chance of just losing on the spot. Because if they Reveler, they're just gonna have so much gas that they're gonna kill us. Like,
yeah,
I pretty much
I think
just
it's the best that we.
yeah.
I agree with your play. I just don't think I'm warned. I have the authority to.
No, I understand. I
make the
understand
call.
exactly what you're saying. And this is the funny thing about this is their braid is actually stranded. They can't cast it for the prowess trigger. Blood Moon. Wow.
Definitely caught me by surprise.
Yeah. Well, that's a good draw.
That was so. That's really strange.
Yeah. Well, we're 1 land off of the flashback on Pyromancer, so that's pretty good. And we dodged them having Reveler there, so. Yeah, there we go.
Well.
And we actually have 2 Seasoned Pyromancers in the graveyard.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we might be able to get
instant speed, right?
We sure can.
Okay. Excellent.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Well, I mean, there's a very low chance that they don't have an instant in their hand, but on the off chance that they don't, we're gonna ambush and kill one of their creatures here.
Isn't it worth jumping?
Yeah.
One.
What?
Aren't you worried about just literally dying?
No. But if I just go chump, how am I progressing the game?
That's fair.
Like, what am I gonna draw? I'm on literally all mountains right now.
Yeah.
Like, this is just sort of a Hail Mary. We're in a bad spot, and this has to work.
Does this deck play basic plains?
Yes, it plays 1 plains and 2 swamps.
Okay.
I'm just saying, like, I don't think I could be just dicking around and being like, well, I hope this 2 chumps gets me to the 1 basic land that doesn't do anything. If it's the swamp, I guess it gets us to the Lingering Souls flashback.
The Lingering Souls, yeah.
Yeah, but that again, that's not going to progress the game at all.
Well, I think we need to chump this turn.
No, do you? When we're at 2?
Yep.
Well, thanks. That's super useful information, Roy. Thank you. I'm glad I have you on for your wisdom. Blood Moon at it. Well, there's a draw. All right, so we get to go up a card here, which is awesome. That draw is not awesome, but oh, see you, bud. Third Blood Moon. Jesus. Woo. And push. All right, so I got 1 more Pyromancer. If they don't have a prowess spell here, I can chump block and kill one of their creatures, which I can do, and then I go to 1. But that puts me in a slightly better chance next turn, so we're going to go for that. Oh, wow. All right, I guess we're climbing back into this one. Okay, so I'm going to discard Souls and Dreadbore. Fatal Push is a slightly better removal spell against that deck because because it's instant. And then I can actually do an attack here. So now there's a decent amount of cards in their deck that they can't just top deck and kill me. Still not in a great spot, but have access to slightly more of the cards in my deck. They drew a land, so now I get to be a little more proactive. Whew! Alright. Let's get going, baby! Okay, so they still have Monastery Swiftspurs in their deck. This puts them on a 4-turn clock because I can get the last elemental in there on the last turn. So I do a deal, put them to 9, put them to 5, and then I have lethal. So let's see if we can fade a few more draws. Let's go! Let's go, 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 go. Get him. Get them. Okay, redraw. Lava Dart'll do. Lava Dart, Lightning Bolt, another Manamorphose. Crash Through won't do it. Steam can. Alright. It's concerning. At minimum, that means my clock is not as good as it was. So I'm going to attack with 3. Oh, sorry, just the 2, because if they draw a burn spell of any kind that targets a creature, then we just lose that. Yeah, it is black to flashback Lingering Soul, so still don't have access to that. Just got to top deck my basic swamp to get there. One of them. Soul Scar Mage. Sure. So that does make Steamkin a 2/2, which means my attacks just got a lot worse. But we left 2 elementals back there, so they weren't able to capitalize on that. Because of the way the attacks would line up, I'm just not going in there. I guess I should have attacked with Seasoned Pyromancer. I'll do that next turn if I get another turn. What is this? Lava Spike. Okay, we just die. So, bit of an unfortunate game there, but there you go. Alright, kind of middling hand here, but I think I will keep this. Opponent's on the play. So that's good interaction for some decks in Modern, and we have a reasonable game plan to get to Kroxa. We are missing one of our colors, but no, we've got the fetch. So actually, this is fine. So depends on what we're up against. Here's hoping that it isn't like hard blue-white control. Is that humans? No, it's probably going to be something like the what it's called, the Soul Herder deck, maybe. Could be humans playing a snow-covered plains, I guess. Maybe it's Death and Taxes. Probably Taxes. Got it. Thalia. Yeah, that's fine. So fetch. So I don't want to get my plains. I can't use my mana right now anyway, so we'll get Sacred Foundry. Play Blackcleave Cliffs. Got a pretty decent amount of mana in play, or sorry, mana in my hand. So their mana denial plan doesn't really scare me yet. So I'm going to aggressively get that off the board. Maybe that's wrong. We'll find out in a second if they have Arbiters or something like that. They got a second Ghost Quarter and an Arbiter off the Aether Vial. That could have been scary. Stoneforge. Yep, that's definitely a card. Get the Batterskull. Okay. It's Arbiter. Yeah, cool. So now they get to take me off of one of my lands. But I can go Bolt, push, and then be in a okay spot. Sure. Does knock me off of white mana, but could be worse. Another Kroxa is not bad. Go push here. Bolt here. So both of us getting a little low on resources. They've put themselves back a land, which means getting to that Batterskull is going to take a little longer. Sword of Light and Shadow. Oof. Alright, so really would like to make sure that they don't start connecting with that thing eventually. Here come Kroxa. Ba-boom! Big ol' Elder Giant. Triggers. If I do top deck a red source, that means I can escape Kroxa next turn, which is pretty good. Although they do have the ability to play a creature out and then start equipping that sword. Hopefully they can't do both in one turn. Oh, that's bad. Oh, that's so bad. That's so bad. They flicker my swamp. Sure. If I had a push there, I would have just killed the Flicker Wisp, but unfortunately I did not. So now they're going to get to hit me with Sword of Light and Shadow and start rebuying creatures. So I really need to draw a Lightning Bolt in a hurry. Unfortunately, I've already run through 2 of them, so this is really bad. So they'll get back their Arbiter or the Thalia here. They've got Stoneforge, really? It's interesting. I wonder if they have they can't have a land in hand. I know exactly what their cards in hand are. What? Huh. I thought they had the Batterskull in their hand. Didn't they play the Stoneforge? Shouldn't they? Oh, it was the Sword of Light. They got Sword and Light. I'm such a goofball. Hey, look. It's that lightning bolt I was talking about. Unfortunately, that means they will then be able to equip it to the Giver of Runes. There's nothing I can do about this right now, so I'm going to have to kill the Flicker Wisp, Sorcery Speed, and then, yeah, we're in a rough spot. They're going to be able to squeeze us to death with this combination of cards. Yeah, because now they can just equip the sword, attack with Giver, get back their Flicker Wisp. Yeah, because I didn't have a push as well there. So looks like we're going to be going down in game 1 to green-white taxes. This is a tough one. We do have things like Wear Tear for game 2 though, so hopefully that will help us out. Definitely not thrilled about how we're getting savaged here. I know all the cards in their hand except for maybe one. I guess they're worried about putting the Flicker Wisp in here, although I can't imagine why they would be. Okay, so they're generating an extra bit of mana. So I can get rid of their Stoneforge, but then I could Dreadbore the Flicker Wisp, but then that doesn't... Yeah. Alright, we're just dead here. Not going to be able to claw back into that game there. I don't think there's any possible draws that get me out of that. So that was a tough one. Wear Tear is definitely good. Angrath Rampage is fine. And then something I was thinking of particularly. I don't think Nihil Spellbomb is necessary here. Ashiok's definitely pretty good. So I don't think they're likely to be playing any Planeswalkers, so Dreadbore seems less than great. Although a lot of their creatures are really nice to be able to remove. They have flyers, they have artifacts, they have creatures. Stoneforge plan is like not so hot here, so maybe it's like one Stoneforge, one Thoughtseize, and one Souls, something like that. Souls is very good against Flicker Wisp though, I guess, unless it has a sword on it, but it's clearly like not a place we want to get into. I need one more. Oh, maybe just one of the Ashioks, I guess. Still, I want to keep one. It's pretty good against things like Stoneforge, though. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Just going to hit the washroom before we start game the second. Alrighty, let's rock and or roll. Yeah, this is one of the best hands I've seen all league. We get to the lead on Shock Godless Shrine into Inquisition, and then we have mana for everything else we want to play. Hopefully we get to mess with their early plan. Cool. They started with 7 as well. Shock that bad boy. Fire off this Inquisition. Okay, what do we got? Oath. No Greenlands. Path. Giver, Arbiter, Champion. Pro black and red. So that's like really obnoxious against us. And Giver of Runes can't activate on itself. Problem is, if I let the Giver resolve, then they can path their Giver when I want to remove it. I think I'm pretty priced into taking Auriok Champion. Yeah. So they're going to play Giver, and if they draw a land, then they can play Arbiter, and then when they path... No, their path, I can still search. No. The way Arbiter works, it's not Ashiok. All right, well, we'll see how this all shakes out. Currently do not have the second red for Seasoned Pyromancer, which is like less than great. Okay. So they're down their one land and their Giver. Well, I was hoping for 1 mana interaction there. Did not get it. So we're going to play Mountain and pass the turn. If they don't draw a land, I can Kolaghan's command their Giver. They drew a land. So they play the Arbiter, but then I can Kolaghan's command. That's a really good draw. Boy, that's a good draw. So obnoxious. All right. Draw for turn. Let's draw red. Sweet. So I can play Blackcleave here. They can Ghost Quarter. I go down a land. They got to play the Arbiter and Ghost Quarter me. Go down a land. But then next turn I'm going to be able to... Yeah, okay, cool. It's going to ditch Pyromancer and Sword, which doesn't feel great here, but Sword doesn't give me pro-white, so I don't actually think it's that good in this game. Alright, rocking and a rolling over here. Let's pass it back. 3 mana for 4 power and toughness and some rummaging. Seems pretty good, man. Stoneforge, sure. Right, they never hit their third land. That's true, so they couldn't do the things that I was talking about. Got Batterskull in hand, sure. So they still have the Arbiter. Okay, so I know all the cards in their hand. Bolt is a really decent draw. Not great, but I will eventually need it. So I have to kill Giver first, and it costs me 2 mana. But they're not incentivized to do anything about it. So play Castle. I think I should kill the Giver now before they get a draw step. And then I gotta keep up my Kolaghan's command through their turn. Sure, that's fine. Which color do you choose? What color do you choose? Pro black, sure. Can't attack with my Seasoned Pyromancer anyway because Thalia has first strike, but... So basically I'm just keeping my mana open this turn in case they were to play the Leyline Arbiter and have an extra mana to try to strip mine me, which they did not. That's a great draw for the next turn. So not attacking here. They've got an Arbiter in their hand in addition to what they have, so they're gonna forge in the Batterskull here. Yeah. That's going to resolve. And then I'm going to shock Thalia and shatter the skull. So, nice shattered skull. So, destroy target artifact and shock. Douche. Douche. Boom. Twofer. From downtown. It's the thing every Stoneforge player was petrified of. It's our good friend, Kolaghan's command. The Corey Burkhart special. So they got Path, Path, Oath, Leyline Arbiter, and 2 cards. Giver, sure. So they're setting up to protect their Arbiter for next turn, but that's fine. I think I missed being able to attack this turn, but I definitely can now. So, Kraken in here. All these 1/2s on the ground making it inconvenient. So, want to leave up white, red, black, black, red, and white, red. Yeah, sure. So this is pretty good mix of colors. So sort of my B plan for this turn was to flashback Lingering Souls, but I think getting Sword of Feast and Famine out of my deck is slightly better. No, I already discarded it this game. So putting Stoneforge into play with Batterskull in my hand is like... It means I get Batterskull into play next turn, but is that better than having... Yeah, actually, it's pretty good. Is that better than having 2 1/1 flyers? Yeah, almost definitely. Yep. No equipment. Shuffle. So they should be able to infer that the last card in my hand is Batterskull. Ghost Quarter. Okay, so they can play Arbiter and kill my Castle Locthwain, which is pretty alright. They could also... They can't knock me off of white mana. They're going to Ghost Quarter their own land. Sure. So they want to cast Oath of Nissa, or this is Auriok Champion. Sure. Definitely stalls my Ground Assault a little bit. Seasoned Pyromancer is not that valuable of a creature, so I think we're going to jam with my Pyromancers, and then we're just going to... Sure. Yeah, that's fine. They trade Stoneforge for it. It's alright. Oh, right. Of course. Still, they're going to take 2 Pyromancers fine in the yard. Okay, and then I can just use Stoneforge to put in the Batterskull. Making them sacrifice a creature here is not great. So I think I'll just flash back my Lingering Souls. And this gives me a really good place to put my Batterskull if I wanted to next turn. I could just spend my whole turn just equipping it to... equipping it to the Spirit and cracking in for 5 in the air, which seems good. So they have this Auriok Champion going on, which is going to be a little bit frustrating, but we definitely have ways past it. Although they've still got Double Path hanging out, so Arbiter. Yes, that's fine. So Stoneforge puts in my Batterskull here, which means they're gonna... Oh, I'm tapped down. They can just path me here for free. Okay, let's see if they do. Oh, if they do, I just equip the... Yeah, okay, I see why they would not do that. Kroxa is a really good pickup here. So I want to attack with my Flyers and my Germ, I guess. Put them in a slightly awkward spot by doing this, I guess. Sure. And then they're going to give the Arbiter protection. Sure. play Kroxa. Got Path Oath. I think I want to keep my mana open so that they can't get me off of mana, or if they path me, I'm able to search for Arbiter. Although I guess they could just fire off their Ghost Quarter next turn. So use the Arbiter. So they are going to path my Kroxa, which is pretty good for them. But it does mean that they're going to be down multiple cards here because they cast the path and now they're going to discard the Oath. So they're down to one path in hand and nothing else. Yeah. Which gets me closer to being able to just start cracking through in the air with Batterskull and the Germ. They can double strip mine me here, but that's not the end of the world. Just got a good enough spread of colors that's going to be okay. That's a great draw. I don't want to do that yet. Suppose what I could do is equip the Batterskull to one of my spirits, and then they'll be forced to path there. But I don't really want to tap down that much, so. But I guess this does accelerate the game towards its end state for me. The other option is if I Kroxa, I force their hand on the path. So I think I burn a second Kroxa here, but this means I am able to sort of transition into the game plan that I want. I think, okay, there it is. So I'm going to pay for Arbiter. Yep, and then search. So still got Castle Locthwain going on here, so that at least ain't not bad. They get their path off, and this means next turn I can just equip the Batterskull to my Spirit token and start cracking it in the air. So they need to draw out of that at a reasonable pace. That's not going to help them with my plan, which is good. Wear Tear is not useful right now, but definitely. So equip to my spirit for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, good. So tech for 6 in the air. Just gonna leave my mana open in case they decide to throw off their Ghost Quarters on me. Aether Vial's fine. Doesn't really do much. So looks like we've maneuvered into a reasonable position in this game. Marsh Flats not the best, but take it. We do have them down to basically one turn till death here. So they did stall out an unbelievable amount of this game, so I think they've just got one more draw step to find an answer here. They could pick up another path. They could get a Flicker Wisp. Should be able to block. But I think, yeah, there we go. I was going to be able to start using my Castle Locthwain there. So, all right. Is there any change I want to make in my deck? Not so much. I think there's a reasonable amount of these games that might go down to top decking, in which case these Thoughtseizes, like having 6 discard effects is not the best, but then again, they're not bad to keep around. Sort of Feast and Famine is definitely not great here, but since I can put it on a flyer, that's alrighty. Ashiok stopping them from searching seems pretty medium, so I wonder if Plague Engineer is probably actually surprisingly good here. What can I fit the second one? Maybe I don't need this sword. No, sword on the flyer is still good. Angrath's Rampage seemed pretty rough there. Although I do have the ability to make them sacrifice artifacts. So maybe that's still okay. Lingering Souls I want all of. Most of these things I want all of. Maybe just go down one more discard spell. Try it out this way. This away. Alright. 2-lander with the Batterskull in hand. But I do have all my colors. I have Wear Tear, and I have 2 1-mana pieces of Disruption. So I think we keep this. We do our very best to play around them being able to disrupt mana. So right now we'd be vulnerable to the turn 3 Arbiter. Okay, so if I bolt the Giver, then I have push for the next threat. Also worth considering, maybe I should have brought in the Kaya's Guile for Auriok Champion. But I did bring, no, I brought in 2 Plague Engineers, so that's definitely good. Okay. So they're Batterskull, but I have Kolaghan's Command ready. I still think I probably want to push the Stoneforge. No. I think I just play Arid Mesa on this next turn. And I need to get a red land with it. Or my goal is to get a red land. Sword of Fire and Ice. So I think that means they have their Sword of Light and Shadow in hand already. I have Wear Tear, Kolaghan's Command, Fatal Push. So I'm going to play the Mesa. I don't think I do anything here because if they want to play something like Leyline Arbiter, then it just means that they're not going to be able to do anything else. Field. Yeah. Arbiter. So I'm going to search in response to that. Getting a red-black is probably ideal. Shock it. Arbiter's fine. Attack with Stoneforge. I'll take the 1. And push the Arbiter. Why did they tap off of the... So if they use Stoneforge to put in the sword, they can't also equip it. So I think I'm going to shock the shrine, hard cast Lingering Souls. Cool. Don't think there's a way I get blown out for this. I guess if they have another Arbiter and then like a Ghost Quarter, they'll be able to nail my lands, but that's not too bad. Oh, they could be playing Veil of Summer against decks like this. Veil of Summer is very good against Kolaghan's Command. Field me, sure. So I have a white in hand, so I'm just going to get a black with this. It's fine. They go get plains, sure. They need the second white for Auriok Champion. Got it. Sure. So, can shock Sacred Foundry, flashback. I don't need to shock Sacred Foundry if what I want to do is... I can. So, a little bit loose with the life total here, but I think it's okay. So, going for 2 here. Clonk. Clonk-a-donk. So, Right now, I don't have any way to cast this Kolaghan's command, but I have lots of other stuff I can do, so I think I'm okay with it. Core Skyfisher. That's a reader. So they want to reset their Stoneforge with that. So if I kill their Stoneforge, they have to bounce something else. Do I really care about them bouncing their Stoneforge in this game? It lets them get another piece of equipment, but they probably already have the sword, and do I really want to waste the kill spell on the Stoneforge? Or would I rather just kill the Skyfisher? Right. I'm going to let this resolve. It may be definitely wrong, but we're going to find out in a second. So I'm going to bounce. Okay, so they just reset the land. Okay, that makes sense. Cast the Auric Champion. Yeah. Just going to bolt the Skyfisher. And then from here on out, we're just going to hold up. I guess I could Kolaghan's command and go shock discard. Especially if I draw land. Cool. So that's like kind of a medium draw against Auric Champion, but I think if I go shock discard, they chokes their mana a bit. Then if they have the fourth land, then I just get to shatter discard, so it's probably okay to let this. I have the wear tear. Alright, so you discard, shock your Stoneforge. So this means if they want to get their sword of any kind into play, then they have to play full retail for it. Which I could just leave in play and then wear it next turn. So they discard Path. Seems reasonable against my onslaught of tokens. It's probably playing out Sword of Fire Knights here. Ghost Quarter's fine. I'm pretty sure they have Sword of Light and Shadow in hand. If they could play it, they'll play it. Knight of Autumn. Sure. It's going to gain 5 life here. Seems okay. Yeah, not my favorite, but I'll take it. Yep, we take 1. Oh, Auric Champion is white. Huh. Good to know. They are now 1 mana off of being able to play and equip. So I think what I'm going to do is attack with 3 tokens, leave 1 back. Yeah, so I really can't afford to let them get through with a sword of basically any kind. So I need to leave my wear up for that. And this can block the Auric Champion and just get it off the battlefield, which is great. I could bolt the Knight of Autumn if I have to, so kind of in a great spot here. Flicker Wisp. Sure. So they can exile one of my tokens or exile their Knight of Autumn. Let's see which one they choose. So exiling my token. Sure. So they're just kind of trying to race me here. Okay, so I'll take out the Knight. Just take 1. Okay, so now they've got the 5 mana to play and equip. Could play this on Elemental or Human. If I played an Elemental, I get myself in a little bit of trouble. So I think what I have to do is just attack with all my creatures and hope that they play and equip the sword. They probably will. Then I take 4 on the crackback, and then basically completely blow them out. They block, sure. So they're just really all in on this sort of Fire and Ice. Sure. So I hope. Maybe I read this game wrong, but I think, yeah, there it is. Cool. So they play this. Attempt to equip. Go. Where? Where did it go? Smash. Alright. And then I get to Plague Engineer. So. And flashback Lingering Souls. Well, I could and cast Lingering Souls, I suppose. But it's fine. Plague Engineer. Human. Bye, nerds. You may now gain your one. Okay. Cracking in. Go, spirits, go. Alrighty. So we're making it to 2-2 here. This deck is grindy, great fun. Rest in Peace is a little late. Stoneforge is right on time, though. So this gets their sort of light and shadow, so actually it's quite easy to still lose this. Batterskull, okay. Not quite as bad considering we also have a Batterskull, and our Batterskull can go on a flyer. My exile doesn't have my Sword of Feast and Famine, right? Cool. So they're going to get that Batterskull into play, but I don't really care too much. So I think I go attack with all. Yeah, attack with everything. I think I can almost just pressure them out of this game. And then Stoneforge gets the Feast and Famine that kills them next turn. So now I've put them in the squeeze. They now are forced into action. Cool. So they just need to top deck something or they're done. All right. Good luck, opponent. Godspeed. They need to top deck. A removal spell wouldn't do it. Even 2 removal spells wouldn't do it. Yeah, because they couldn't cast them both. Because they still kind of have to get the Batterskull into play. Alright. Well, here's hoping they're just bluffing me. So Stoneforge in the sword? It's actually not worth it. I know it's in my hand. I know my opponent does not, but I know it's in my hand. Throw it on token. So I guess I could have put it on the Plague Engineer, with the reason being that if they put in the Batterskull, they can't block it. Path. Yeah, they still die from this. So exactly killed them. So every single point of life that they gained mattered. 0-6 with Breach so far. I got one more game to play with this one, bud. So we can try Breach together, I guess, afterwards and see if we can do it together. That sounds rough. I knew I was bad with combo. Well, we all have our strengths and weaknesses, so maybe you and I can become a decent combo player with the combination of the two of us. Alright, so on the play against Michael Scott, gonna mulligan this 1-lander. Gonna keep this 3-lander. So it's an interesting-ish decision here. I feel like I want to chuck back either the Lingering Souls or the Fatal Push. I think it's Lingering Souls. I think there's just a good collection of decks in this format that just don't care. So, and then we're going to go Blackcleave into Inquisition and then tap land fetch for... Yeah, okay, good. So hopefully we're playing against something like Amulet Titan where the Ashiok's just a real blowout. Okay. This is like black green. It's probably some kind of Death Shadow deck. Oh, maybe Jund Shadow. I'm going to take the Thoughtseize. This does mean Ashiok's going to be pretty good in this matchup. And the Fatal Push. So we're actually in pretty good shape with this hand. Yeah. Well, when I played Lotus Field combo deck before Breach was printed, I think I went 2-8. So my first league was 2-3, and I was like, oh, that was kind of interesting. And then my second league was 0-5, and I was just like, I'm not. There was like one really sick match that I played, but other than that one, it was all pretty garbage. Okay, so we're set up really nicely here. So want to make sure I get double red and a white. Don't have any double black spells. They're likely going to play the Goyf here. We get to push it and then Ashiok them, and that might just be game. But if they haven't drawn a second land, they're also going to be in trouble. So we shall see. We shall see. And Dat Member ain't doing them no favors here. Dismember? No, Dat Member. Which member? I don't know. I don't even know anymore. Alright, so getting Godless Shrine seems fine, and then Arid Mesa can get me a basic mountain. Yeah, that's kind of cool. We've got double black. And then if they draw the fetch land as their third land, then they're really in big trouble. I think this is definitely one of those matchups where I'm going to start Ashioking myself. There's nothing in their graveyard that there's aggressively attacking their deck is not particularly worthwhile, so milling myself and trying to look for Kroxas and other things to get out of my graveyard is really, really powerful in this deck. There are 4 copies of Seasoned Pyromancer and 4 copies of Lingering Souls to flip. Okay, so now they're going to be able to cast their Goyf, but I'm going to be able to push it and then exile it, so they won't be able to get it back with the Dat Member. So, or not Dat Member, Unearth. I'm tempted to Seasoned Pyromancer looking for a land here, but I think instead of getting greedy like that, we're just gonna attack their hand viciously. So they can't search with Traverse. Liliana is like the only card here that has real text right now. They can't play the Death Shadow yet, but they'll eventually be able to. But Liliana they can play soon enough. Question is, which is the bigger threat? It's not the Death Shadow because I can block it a lot. So I'm going to take the Liliana. We're going to push the Goyf. And they can't even play the Death Shadow yet, so. Traverse doesn't do anything, so they're on a bunch of blanks. Traverse, DS, Unearth, Dismember. They drew an Inquisition. That's actually not that good against this hand. Like, it's not the end of the world, but the fact that we didn't hit a Kroxa or a Lingering Souls yet is a little unfortunate, but it is what it is. And you lost. Okay, so I guess like what you're saying is like they're reasonably close. And like I felt the same when I was playing Lotus Field. Like some of the games that I played were reasonable. And I would just go 1 and 2, and I would think like maybe with slightly different play I'd be able to get there. Okay, so if I hit a Kroxa with this Ashiok, that means I'll be able to escape it right away. So let's try to do that. Didn't hit it, so I'm just going to play Sacred Foundry and play Souls. Get some dudes. Some previously alive folks. We are able to put like 2 power onto the battlefield per turn right now, so yeah. Opponent just scoops. Yeah, there's nothing they can play. If they draw a fetch land, they can pay 1 life, but it won't get them anything. If they draw a shock land, they could shock to 13, which doesn't do anything for them. And they drew a second Traverse, which is pretty brutal. Okay, so Blood Moon seems like it might be nuts here. Most of our interaction is good, although Lightning Bolt seems kind of weak. Yeah, Lightning Bolt's definitely not great. Oh, there's 4 bolts, Angrath Rampage, and then I guess Kaya's Guile's pretty good. Plague Engineer, not so great. Nihil Spellbomb, it's okay, but I think with Kaya's Guile, that's enough graveyard removal. Dreadbore seems great. Lingering Souls seems great. Pyromancer seems a little slow, but maybe Pyromancer is a little slow. This Kolaghan's commands aren't even particularly great. That doesn't kill a lot of their creatures. They don't play any particularly relevant artifacts. Yeah. So maybe just bring in a Nihil Spellbomb. Yeah, because they've got things like Unearth and Traverse, which they want to get Delirium for. Maybe cut a... I feel like Batterskull's not super great in this matchup, but I feel like it's just always supposed to stay in because it's just relatively awesome all the time. I'll cut 1 Thoughtseize. Just go a little bit down on that. Alright, rocking and reeling into match number 5. Good hand here. Got redundant disruption into Kroxa. So it's a good chance that we just get to kind of totally knock them out of being able to play this game much at all. Leyline. Yeah, that's a good way to start. All right, so we want Wear Tear in game 3. Got it. Leyline doesn't necessarily the end of us. So they aggressively bobbled, which means I get to hit all the cards in their hand instead of all the cards -1. So that's small misplay from my opponent, but we'll see how much it matters. Gonna take the Kroxa. Yeah, because they cannot play Death Shadow next turn, and Traverse won't have Delirium. So good stuff. And then we'll be able to Thoughtseize the next thing. So they're going to play Bloodstained Mire most likely. Yep. And then they could double fetch, double shock, but that only puts them at 14. So cannot put the Death Shadow into play yet. Second Thoughtseize means I could take everything out of their hand. Let's fire off the first one first, see what happens. That's a white mana. Stupid Expeditions. Traverse Death Shadow on the Shock land. So I'm going to take the Death Shadow. They've got Artifact Creature, and then they could put a land in there. So not worried about that. So I think I just sit on the Thoughtseize. I should probably just take it away from them, huh? I think so. And I need to start getting red because I don't have enough to play my Pyromancer. Yeah. So this just leaves them in full top deck mode. Depending on what they draw, my Kroxa gets to hit it. So we're gonna have land +1 card. So we'll see what's up here. Really want to hit a 3rd land soon, please. That would be tremendous. I'd like to Kroxa your last card, please. What is it? Alright. Stamping Grounds? Sure. So we're both kind of living off the top of our library, but if I draw this land like that, I'm in really good shape because I get to turn off their 2 fetches in play. So they're going to double fetch in response here, hopefully, and not lose the game on the spot. They did not. Alright, so opponent in grotesque amounts of trouble now. That really feels bad. Sure. Game over, unfortunately. Yeah, opponent just not used to playing against Ashiok, I guess, and getting caught. So an unsatisfying final match for an otherwise great league. This is a really cool deck. It's definitely not easy to play, and you win on very thin margins. Yeah, double Stone Rain, right? You went on very thin margins. I'm not surprised that someone as exceptional as Omar Beldon is one of the few people you will see playing it, but if you ever do run into it, do not underestimate the power of this deck. I have seen like a black-red Kroxa list that seemed a lot more focused in terms of the power of all the graveyard synergies, and I'm not 100% sure if the Stoneforge package is great in this deck, but it does incentivize you to play Lingering Souls, which is pretty good when you're playing the kind of low resource game this deck wants to play. So it is a lot like Mardu Pyromancer was back in the day. So definitely would need more reps in to play a tap out control deck like this properly. The way that you Thoughtseize or Inquisition at the first couple turns of the game is going to set up the rest of the game in a way that a lot of decks are usually a little bit more forgiving. This is not. You really have you're squeezed on in from a lot of angles because your main deck doesn't have any of the black-green tools which can destroy any permanent type. So there is a lot of stuff that you just need to be careful of. You do have things like Dreadbore. You've got powerful tools like Lightning Bolt, and then Kroxa is reasonably powerful. We didn't really get to use him that much that league. I probably should have been aggressively milling myself with Ashiok more often, but definitely wasn't used to that play pattern. Anyway, we're going to be moving on doing some Lotus Breach with my good buddy Brian. So I got to get that set up. So anyone who's watching this, stick around. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can check out that next video, and I will see you there.